until today when Riker told me apparently there was a scene with some people who had muskets.
Yeah, we've known about muskets for a couple weeks now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will say that I think we want to hold that conversation on till well, I'll break it down for you. We came across a series of like a scene over at Grapeseed in which anywhere from like 16 to 20 people had discharged a long barrel rifle. And obviously that concerned us, right? Especially with just all the crazy shit that's been going on. Like, and so our immediate thought was, well, maybe it is like, I don't know, the fucking Darkstone. It could be fucking like any, or like some kind of crazy, like fucking Faceless or, you know, some other fucking group. I mean, there's always somebody, right? There's like fire starters. There's all kinds of shit. Yeah. And we're thinking like, oh, maybe this is like one of those like Lockheed Martin, except for the bad guys, like weapons demonstration. Fast forward, and I can't go into the details of it. We came across some of them. However, those that possessed it have been rather dormant, right? And or docile is probably a better word. And you know, we do believe that there are links to like New Babylon.
Oh Christ.
But well, I think you're thinking, your reaction tells me that you might be thinking a little bit too deep about it there. I mean, I haven't seen muskets before myself, but it ain't like muskets can't be showing up at the store tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't personally like to think in absolutes, right? But there are tie-ins to New Babylon. I mean, these guys live off like eating fucking like forage food and shit. So them coming across possibly some antique weapons, right? And is not like out of the realm of like expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay.
So, but yesterday was the first time that we have seen it used violently. And so now sort of the question that's been going through my mind is, does that change anything? And I don't really know the answer to that right now, to be honest. I think barring having a better conversation with them, I can't put a position on it personally. So, because like the thing is, like each and every one of them that I've ran into, like I'll just be open about it. We caught two of these dumb fucks waving a musket around like just last week, and a week and a half as well. But in both cases, the first one, like the guy pulled it out, right, and we eventually found it. And then we learned it's just a damn musket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, fuck are you gonna do with that? And then came a second one, which also was not like anything crazy, right? So at the time, it's like, okay, maybe these guys are like hunting boars or something in the forest for food. Like, why the fuck should I stop that?
Yeah.
But then yesterday, apparently they were used to take someone hostage. But,
hey, Stevie. It's going good.
But the thing is, the weapon.
Say hi tonight. He's on the phone.
The weapon itself is not the problem. It's the usage of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the weapon. But the weapon is the problem at the same point, though, because if they're shooting cops with it, like, is it a class 2? Is it like what?
No.
What is it?
So that's a separate issue, right? Here's how I'd break it down. A weapon in and of itself weapons. So first off, I'm a believer that that God gave us the right to weapons, not just to defend ourselves, to be able to defend ourselves against government too. if necessary. I mean, you know, a long time ago when you know, in Polita, when we were part of the United States and we had to fight the British, you know, if we didn't have our damn muskets, we wouldn't be able to gain independence, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, no offense there, babe. You know what I mean? It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I'm Welsh, not British, so it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, I look at it like this. I mean, what is your disposition on it?
I'm just worried that these fuckers, they're making these weapons, and we're just kind of sat there going, nah, it's Babylon, it's all right. You know what I mean? They're just some goofy guys who wear onesies. Like, those guys genuinely could be weapons trafficking for all we know.
I don't know if they'd be trafficking, but they could be manufacturing. Don't disagree with that. I don't want to provide a full position until I speak with them, because 90% of the Babylonians I ran into, and of those, have been extremely pacifist. And they describe themselves as pacifist. Alfonso Sebastian, CJ, Eliza, like I've had quite a few interactions with them, and each time they've been sort of like dead set on saying, look, we're trying to keep to ourselves. Ain't nothing going on here. We're pacifists. But then occasionally, like, the same actors, right? Yesterday, Speedy, Luciano, like, you know, the guys that they got some of that old school South Side in them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
City shit. Them, you know, popping a loose, like, I don't know if I want to paint everyone with the same brush with that.
I'm all for turn a new leaf. Right? I've turned a new leaf when it, like I've been expunged, right? So I get being constantly tarnished with the same brush of once criminal, always criminal, yada yada yada. But I still think it's important. I don't really care what anyone says. They're some of the most dangerous people in San Andreas, in that compound. That's just the fact. Like, you've got two people in there who are both mass murderers in Edgar and Langbutter. And I think
that's something to be concerned of. Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from.
And I think, like, I'm all for people turning a new leaf, and I want to encourage people to turn a new leaf as much as possible. But for all we know, from the outside looking in, they could say we're pacifists, we're this, we're that. But
I think if we use that metric, then I think you should be more concerned about a police department. I mean, if that, like, genuinely, right? Like, in the past month, we've had a department that has been cooking meth, that has individuals that have been trained and have turned into murderers. We have members of a high command that are so dog shit at their job that they're actively hiding information, not just from the government, but we're engaged with what is definitively weapons trafficking.
But let me say this to you, Knight.
You know what I mean?
Are we in Los Santos County at the moment?
It's both. And it doesn't matter what
county. You think Blaine County are doing this?
We did do it. What do you mean? We're a part of the convoy, Junior.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but like the discussion we had with me, you, and Frost, that, well, I'll be honest, I put that blame onto the marshals because it was their op.
I mean, look, I like to look at things like wholesale and not, you know, if my morals and principles are aligned on one thing, I'm always going to apply it equally. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to take away from your fears, but, you know, people in pajamas who've done virtually no violence for God knows how long, you know, have an incident. I'm not, you know, it's going to raise eyebrows a bit, but I think that means I'd rather go and talk to them directly and see what their disposition is.
Yeah, I'd much rather them. Did the incident occur in Blaine County, or was it in the city?
In the city.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a bit more encouraging. But the main thing is, Brian, is that I agree with you. I think look, they've caused no issues whatsoever, and I think like we want to try and keep it that way for for the remainder of my term. But I think it's
I don't think they
important
should be ignored, right?
Yeah.
But I also think it's important not to demonize and target them. So
Yeah,
I mean, look, yesterday an incident happened, right? They were interrogated. These things have been documented, but I want to understand that if we really wanted to, we could fucking raid that damn compound. But how would that make us look? You know what I mean?
There's no
everything's got levels to it, right? Yeah. And you have to keep in mind that the police department, including Blaine County Sheriff's Office, needs development. And if things are not done like in a calculated manner, in a manner that's like matches the energy, matches the level of like public concern, we might as well, like it can go off the rails real fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
so
look at the fucking shit spot the fucking LSPD are in the moment. Like, things can turn sour in the space of around like a week and a bit if you don't, sort shit out and make sure shit's, nipped in the bud with a lot of stuff. So I'm well aware of that.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important to note that every fucking decision we make is being scrutinized and is being watched. So I do get your point. Like I said, my main concern is Frost. I don't want to be known as the mayor who let New Babylon fucking take over San Andreas.
Yeah, but what makes you think they're taking over San Andreas?
Nothing. But like I said, it's more so just the personnel who are there. That's actually my only concern.
So, because like
some very powerful people in that group.
I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I work on facts, circumstances, and evidence, right, Junior?
Mm-hmm.
And if there is evidence that leads to that, something definitely needs to be done, right?
Yeah.
And we already have a lot of bullshit happening with the Faceless and Darkstone. That's kind of being, cooked on. But, a bunch of pajama wearing docile individuals, of which only 3 of which have done anything even remotely violent in nearly 2 months, from a population of like 40, 50 being my estimate. Monitoring is good, but don't think there's I don't think we should allow for fear to drive. No,
I don't think we should have fear to drive, but my point is mainly being don't sleep on them.
No, they are not being slept on. Okay, right?
That's literally it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call and see what your thoughts were. Yeah, but
I mean, listen, they might take over the island. You might be damn right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like I said, unless there's reason to believe that to be the case. I mean, have you spoken to them?
Yeah, I was talking to them on a quite frequent basis.
Well, I mean, what is it that they said that makes you think they might be, doing something they shouldn't?
Look, like I said, it's not necessarily a major concern of mine, but it's just to make sure that they're not being underestimated. That's my only worry, because shit can go from a very small problem to a very big one overnight.
Listen, look,
crazy shit happens all the time, right?
I think that's true, but I also do not want to discriminate either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I understand that. But yeah, as long as you guys are keeping an eye on them, that's all I really give a shit about.
Yep, 100%. Where did this line into Muskets exactly?
I just got told that there was an instance with Muskets, I believe, last night.
So, okay.
And, you mentioned during the town hall meeting you wanted to legalize muskets and shotguns.
I think that legalization in the same way that a 1911 would be, right?
Yeah.
You'd still need to be a civilian. You'd still need a hunting rifle, right?
Yeah.
Or a hunting license, that is.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's
You should still ask the rest of the public, right? Just because I say something doesn't mean it should happen. But
yeah, I know. But it's the thing. I'm going around speaking to people about it.
Like a handful of people using let me ask you something. What's more dangerous, a musket or the hunting rifle you get from the hunting lodge?
That is. Can I give you a
1911 versus a musket?
A 1911 versus a musket?
Yeah.
I'd probably rather have I've never used the musket, so I couldn't give you an answer.
You reload a pellet, which takes about 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
Fuck it, okay.
Yeah.
I'd probably rather a 1911.
And technically, I don't even know if the musket is illegal right now. So let's like drive this conversation back to something that is within the confines of the law. Because I think that's kind of where you brought this up. A musket right now is by the best definition a class 1. Hold on, let me see. What the hell did they?
It's like I think they class a class 2 as like an automatic.
It is, but
firearm, right?
the problem is that the weapons legislation. I discussed this with the rest of Blaine County High Command. The current weapons legislation is so bad. It's over a year and a half old. What should be done, in my opinion, is y'all should get together and classify class 1s, 2s, 3s, etc., whatever categories, right? Base it on the U.S. definition. That's where they originally came from. With 1s being, single fire, class 2s being fully automatic, and class 3s being more like explosion driven.
Yeah.
And then in there have a prohibited list, right? So things that are classified, and law enforcement can classify it. Like we can do that, right? Or through the DOJ. Either way. And anytime we find something new, it should be automatically categorized just like drugs are today, right? Because you don't want law enforcement guessing each and every time. It should be like, you see it? Is it this? Is it that? Correct. Because just because I know how a musket works, because I've tested it after we found one, doesn't mean the next guy in a different shift or whatever that hasn't seen one would. So it gets classified, and then have a list of the approved, like a hunting rifle, 1911, etc., and what are the conditions by which, you get what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what needs to be done. Right now, the charges are scuffed and the law is scuffed. So
yeah, I agree. I think that's something that definitely is looking into, because it's very outdated. Like we were looking at some other stuff during the DOJ meeting yesterday, and we were like, yeah, this is like beyond dumb. Like, take a look at your charges real quick and search up. I believe it's practicing. Search up medicine. It should come up.
Yeah.
Oh, they got rid of it. Okay, yeah. Previously, there was 2 charges for practicing medicine without a license. It was like practicing medicine without a license, and then it was like medicine practicing without a license.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. I mean, it also seems like they might be practicing medicine in there. But look, I ain't a lawmaker, right? At the end of the day. And understand that our resources are limited. And right now, with dealing with, like you said previously, like, is it a Blaine County or Los Santos County thing? That's a very, you have to keep in mind that there are many things that affect the entirety of the state, right? Yeah. And that's eating up the majority of our time. I would highly recommend that you sort of make contact with them, and if you have some of these concerns, I mean, you have the ability to put your foot down on shit, right? Outside of that, there isn't really much that we can do otherwise, right?
Okay, I'll make some calls and see what I can do. Okay.
Yeah, and just to clarify, we could raid them it might be hard to articulate, right? Like right now, let me give you an example. I'll give you a working example, Junior. I have enough evidence right now that I can go in there and fucking flip every bed, right?
Okay.
Because technically it's public property. Do you disagree?
I don't know your evidence.
Well, no. Is it public property? Who owns those places?
Yeah, I mean, true. There's nothing.
Yeah,
that they
what
own it.
stops me if I think that there's exigent circumstances due to finding 16 weapons, I can go. Listen, I don't think you understand how much of a weapon I am, Junior. I could delete them like this,
I
and
know
I'm
you're a
snapping my
weapon
finger.
buyer.
Oh, you haven't seen it. I've been having to hold back. My point there is, I'm not going to do that, right? There ain't no laws. It's just they don't own that shit. That's not legal, right? But if a bunch of people are a bunch of, it's the same reason I want to raid the sewers. So I think you got to, quite frankly, Junior, I think you got to go figure out what you want to do with them. And then, if they're doing some illegal activity, we do a little bit. But, legally speaking, what are they doing wrong?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, you got a point.
Yep. All right. So,
well, other than obviously shooting cops and erecting massive fucking walls and
brother,
putting sea mines.
brother, two of them shot at 2 cops. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can't think that's such a. I'm gonna tell you straight, Junior. That's a dog shit way of thinking. Like, there's 50 of them, Junior. 50 of them. What, they went and shot cops after 6 weeks? Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any major concerns on them. It's just I want to make sure I'm not being.
I mean, if you want me to go wipe them, I can go wipe them. You know what I mean? We can go.
I don't want you to go to anything with them. I just like I said, I just don't want them to be slapped down. That's the main thing.
All right, I understand. All right.
Alrighty. Appreciate your time. Right, night.
Anytime, Junior. Take care now.
Bye bye.
It ain't my job to do his job for him. Poor Junior. I think poor Junior's realizing he's gonna listen, man, he's got to go there and figure out what if he wants to do something about it, he's got to go knock on their door and say eviction notice. Junior shows up with a big construction. It actually isn't. That's the thing. One could argue the problem is right now, if we used United States law, what they're doing is illegal. In San Andreas law, there's very little illegality that they've done, right? It is the